What's up, everybody? This is Josh Trent, and today it's you and me for the Solocast, and our focus today is about gathering the evidence. And I have a question for you. Today, when you woke up, what was the very first thing that you thought about? Was it bills or responsibilities or stress or kids or I don't know, could be 1,000 different things. Or was it to remind yourself to take a big, deep breath? Today was really interesting for me. I woke up and I noticed that my lungs felt pretty heavy. So I did my M21 breathing, which was the 5-count box breathing, 5-second inhale, 5-second hold, 5-second exhale, 5-second hold. And I literally felt my lungs stretch. And you know what I was thinking when my lungs were being stretched? And I reminded myself to gather the evidence that I could actually breathe in the morning while I wasn't thinking about anything. And that's always a cue for us. It's always there. It's funny. I tend to forget, which is why it's tattooed on my arm, that if I can breathe, I can choose. In our universal struggle of remembering the tools, the power that we hold every single day, it's just something that we get to remind ourselves about, the people we care about. Here on this podcast, I care about us. I care about you and me and our discovering process of this physical and emotional intelligence. So today, I want to take you through 3 different things that you can do every single day that I remind myself every single day to do, that I get to do. The first one is, can I take ownership? Can I take ownership today to gather the evidence that I am exactly where I get to be for true alignment with my purpose, my happiness, my joy? Can I also gather the evidence of my loving ownership of my physical body, my thoughts, and my inspired actions? Because today, you and I know that we are going to face hardships and struggles, maybe even despair. But I trust as long as I choose to collect the evidence, and we're going to talk about this, that serves my physical and emotional intelligence, well, then my day and my life is going to be expression of exactly what I want. So the first piece is the inventory. This is something I've been working on so much lately. I've had the inner critic pop up quite a bit. Now, the inner critic inside of me, he is very loud, especially towards the end of the night. Now, the end of the night for me is like the times when the voices are pretty loud. Now, I don't know about you, but most people report, and if you look at the scientific data, most of the bad health decisions, the food, the stress, maybe the wrong sexual partners, whatever it is, these things happen typically late at night. So the very first thing I can do, and we all can do, to gather the evidence that we are being directed on a guidepost from God, is that we choose to get to bed. Whether it's a reminder on your Fitbit or your phone or whatever it is, choose. Literally today, make today, who cares about the past? Make today the day when you choose to get to bed at 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. Because when you do that, it sets you up for the very next day. If you've been reading the M21 guide, you know that the M21 system, it actually starts the night before. Because when you go to bed early, you wake up early. And then when you're early, you'll never show up late for yourself. That's what this is really about. It's about showing up on time for ourselves. So this first piece, gather the evidence. Gather the evidence that you claim, that you hold in your hand by getting to bed at 10 p.m. or 10:30 tonight. Now, what that means is you're going to get to shift a few things, a few priorities in your life. For me, right now, I'm recording this at 12 p.m. in the middle of the day, and I already have on my calendar that I'm going to yoga, I'm blocking a piece of work, I'm getting my meal prep done, and I'm doing everything. And literally, I have a reminder in my calendar for my evidence that I am practicing self-love, that I love myself, that today I will go to bed at 10 o'clock. And that's it. I don't have to make a decision about it. It's already done. So do this. Number 1, gather the evidence that today you'll go to sleep at 10 p.m. Number 2, taking loving ownership of your physical body. This is a big one. I have in my calendar also today a time to go to yoga. I'm actually going to be going to yoga in 3 hours. So question for you, as you gather the evidence that you're supported, that you're loved, and that you're on the right path, are you willing to record these guideposts from God, these downloads from the divine, these messages from the universe? Are you willing to record these in your calendar? You know, it's funny. Most of us deal with a workday that's probably 6, 8, 10, 12 hours, maybe even more if you have children, if you support children. Now, what's fascinating is that we use these calendars for our work, but yet so many people resist when it comes to using the calendar to work on your own personal life. It doesn't have to be work. We can use these calendars to actually design and stack our environment in our favor. So this is the second piece. Use the calendar. Use the calendar. It's so easy. It's right there. It's sometimes the truth hides in plain sight. Can you gather the piece of evidence and record that evidence that today on your calendar, you're going to block out, you're going to put a section in there to go to the gym, to go to yoga, to do your MoveNat or your animal flow training, whatever it is, even if it's a basic walk. Don't underestimate the power of walking, by the way. The AB analysis, the research from PubMed that I'm actually going to link in the show notes for this Solocast, there is some recent data about the power of walking, how walking can be just as beneficial, if not more beneficial, for people that are stressed out and tired and in adrenal fatigue than going to the gym and doing a hard workout. So the second piece, gathering your evidence, gathering our evidence together. Can we use our calendar? Can we record a time that we'll go out into the world and practice our physical intelligence, which is really an act of self-love? This self-love piece has been a big one. You know, as I mentioned earlier, my inner critic that's come up at night, I want to know, what's the name of your inner critic? The name of my inner critic, I haven't actually gotten 100% clear on, but it's going to be one of those little cartoon characters that pops up when I least likely want to see them, kind of like a devil on my shoulder. But what I found in doing these podcast interviews, specifically meeting with an emotional intelligence coach lately, is that it's not necessarily the devil on my shoulder that I need to fight. It's the devil on my shoulder that I get to learn how to love, that I get to learn how to turn towards and ask the devil, why are you actually there? What are you trying to protect me from? Because typically the anger that comes up in myself when I'm experiencing a habit or a brain synapse that's firing, that's trying to move me in a direction that's not aligned with my health and not aligned with the evidence that I know that I'm worthy of, it's because it's trying to teach me something. These internal messages, these internal hits, right? Intuitive hits. They're really designed from this protector. So another reframe and a way that we can gather evidence today is turn towards the devil, turn towards the habit that you don't like, turn towards that deleterious practice and ask it with a deep breath, what are you trying to teach me? I know you've come up a lot. I know you come up at night. What are you trying to teach me? And then take 3 breaths and listen. Listen to what this devil, this teacher, this protector is actually trying to give you. It's a gift. And 9 times out of 10, if you're still enough, if you're quiet enough, it'll teach you that you're not listening to something, especially something it's trying to tell you. I'll go vulnerable here. This is my teacher last night. Last night, it was about 10:30. I found myself still working. I closed the laptop. I laid on the floor. I put my feet up on the bed so my feet were above my heart. And I asked, what are you trying to teach me? I literally spoke it out loud. And I failed. I didn't listen. I went to the kitchen. I got an apple with almond butter and kind of used that to not actually feel the tension that I was feeling in my chest. But when I woke up this morning, I asked the question again. My protector, what are you trying to teach me? Why are you sending this signal of tension, of lack of breath down my solar plexus, into my belly, into my throat? What are you trying to teach me? And you know what my protector said? That it's okay to listen and it's okay to love yourself. It's okay to be honest and to be vulnerable with a friend, with yourself, with public. That's this Solocast about you and I gathering our evidence in this universal human experience involves us putting our damn feet on the ground shoulder width, clenching our fist, putting it up in the air over our head and shouting, even whispering or speaking, whatever volume you can, our truth. And what is your truth? Your truth, my truth, our truth is that we are imperfect beings and we don't have it all figured out. But one thing that we are committed to is gathering the damn evidence. Today, you and I, are gathering the evidence that we are loved, that we are supported, and that we are on the right path. And it starts with these little habits, brick by brick, that build the wall of success. If you're feeling this like I am, take a deep breath right now. Feel how it feels in your belly to stretch it out and to breathe it out. And then once you've cycled your breath, that's where everything comes from. So I've got my calendar in place. I'm gathering my evidence. And my last thing I want to share with you before we say goodbye is as you go about gathering your evidence, just know you don't need to be in a hurry. There's no rush to gather your evidence. And actually, the faster you're in a rush to gather the evidence, the less it's probably going to appear. So today, you get to trust. We get to trust, you and I, on this wellness journey as we walk the path step by step. Sometimes know that we're going to fall, we're going to be lost, we're going to be screaming to God or higher intelligence or universe, "Where's my guidepost, man?" But it's okay. Everything's going to be okay. These storms, the length of the storms that come through to our city, where we live, in our mind, we know that they will pass. And it's up to us to gather the evidence and to speak our truth, even if it's just a whisper. So today, my friend, let's you and I commit to gather the evidence that you are loved, that you are supported, and that you're on the right path. And let me know in the Wellness Force group today that you gathered your evidence. What was your evidence? What did you gather about yourself? Tell me about your physical and emotional intelligence and maybe something that your protector was trying to teach you. Did you finally listen? Let's talk about it more in the Wellness Force group at wellnessforce.com/group. So until I see you again and we get to connect next week, I'm wishing you love and wellness